Hi there, I'm Luke and welcome back to Photo Buy, and today we're checking out the Sony Xperia XZ2 Premium. Let's get into it. So the video you just saw was actually all done on the Sony XZ2. You would have seen down at the bottom as well what it was filmed in, but we found the HDR was quite effective. It definitely got some quite nice shots. Helped with the balance, although on a day like today where it's quite cloudy, it's not really working with any strong contrasting conditions, but it still tests the saturation to see if it actually bring up enough color to get a good shot. In terms of cameras, the front-facing camera is a 13 megapixel camera. You've also got on the back a 19 megapixel main camera and then a 12 megapixel black and white camera. So this is obviously to help out with contrast, similar to what we've seen with the Huawei P20 Pro. In terms of low light photo, you can go up to ISO 51200 and then low light can go up to 12800, which isn't too bad, but we are seeing some more models that are coming out with some higher end ISO performance. So overall, not a bad phone, definitely on the premium end of handsets. It is quite a wide phone as well. It doesn't encompass the whole body like we're starting to see with some of the newer models. You do have a nice big thick forehead on the top and a big chin at the bottom with the branding. But in terms of the actual screen, it is quite bright. I've currently got it maxed out at the moment, so it's very, very bright. Even in this low light condition, it is standing out and it is behaving like a very, very bright screen, which is very helpful when you're trying to see what you're recording. And when we've been playing with it, it's been very beneficial, especially when the sun's coming at an angle, you still get a nice shot. So we're just going to take some pictures so you guys can see how it handles, especially when you're shooting photo. Now currently you do have Intelligent Auto Plus, which is something that Sony use and is some of their own brand software. So we'll test that out, see how it works. There's also a manual as well, but we'll get into that just in a moment. But we're just going to pick out some leaves. So this is mainly detail, how it breaks away from the background using a background blur. I'm just going to control the exposure a bit and then just take a picture. Right, let's have a look at the detail on that one. So if you move slowly to the right, you can see there's a little bit of detail. You can see there's quite a bit of sharpening going on as well. There is a bit of blur going on from the camera itself, which is all natural blur, so this isn't made up blur. And we'll go out of that now. But we're just going to go over to one of the leaves over there, and we're just going to show you how the video and the photo work, and you guys can get a good idea of how the camera handles. Right, so we've just got it lined up on this leaf just here, and as you can see, it's quite a bright image, especially up here, but we can tap and it can actually balance out the photo for us, but it also shifts the focus. And we tap forward, oh, got a bit of a breeze going. When you tap forward, it does actually focus. The issue that you'll have, however, is if you go over to filming or video and you want to focus on something, you got to tap and you got to wait. It's a bit slow when it comes to trying to track things. And we can go into settings, we can go object tracking on, and go back out. So we can track on things, we can hit record, and we'll just see how that tracks. So currently it's doing quite well and it's gone off focus. Let's try again. So I've locked on to a leaf. Okay, so it's locked on, it's focusing, it's disappearing off frame, it's going across. See, it's not even a fast moving subject and it's already lost the focus on it and it's gone back to looking out. So you've got to constantly tap to actually focus on things. So I'm trying to tap on this little leaf here. So it's locked onto it and it's, okay, it's come back. So it's staying on for once, but it is kind of hit and miss with this phone and it's gone as it goes out of the frame. And it won't try and pick it up when it comes back into frame, so you've got to then re-link it, which can be a bit frustrating. And in fact, it can be, in some cases, quite annoying if you have a fast-moving subject. Now moving over to the, as you can see, if you have a look at the top as well, we'll get that focused up for you so you guys can see. But if you see at the top, that's where the icons are. And if you've got any overexposed areas, they're very, very hard to see. And you've got to go in to tap on there and then it'll finally switch. But you've got to be able to see that. And if you're new to the camera or new to the phone, that's not very easy to see unless you go over something that's very contrasted, and then you can see the icons much better. But the minute you go to somewhere blown out, it's much harder to see them, which can be very frustrating. But anyway, now that we're in the camera settings, we can tap, we can focus, we can move it around, we can go into settings. We've got auto capturing, we've got object tracking. So we'll do that because it is a partially moving image and it's locked on. We'll take a picture. There we go. Now when you go over to manual, it now gives you a bit more control. You've got to tap over here and then you can actually access all of the different features. So you've got your exposure evaluation, you've got white balance, ISO, shutter speed, your autofocus you can change. It would have been nicer that if you went into manual and it was already there, but that's just something you have to put up with. And then if you want to get rid of it, you just got to tap and then take a picture. But again, this is something to bear in mind when you're having a look at this phone. It would have been nice if they just appeared when you needed them. We can just tap. Some of the icons are so small, it's very hard. Some of the icons are quite small, so it's very hard to tap on them. So we can go into settings. We want to go down to, let's have a look. Let's turn off object tracking. Dual camera switch off. So what it will do is it will change between the different cameras. Now the way that you actually control this phone is you have a little button on the top, this very own camera button. So you can have a little view of that on the top. This is to help you take pictures, landscape, like so. And this also helps when you're in video. So if I transition over to video, again, it just helps you to record without needing to tap on the screen, which I find very nice. It's very much a premium type. I wish this was on more camera phones, such as the Huawei's, the Google Pixels, and even the iPhones. It's a very useful feature. It could even be the volume button. That can also be quite useful, but as a camera, it's normally on the right side, which makes life a bit easier when you're trying to take your pictures. So overall, it's a good phone. Sony Xperia XZ2 Premium does quite well. It handles, general scenes quite well, especially with the HDR feature. In the video, it can be a bit of a faff trying to get it to focus on different subjects, especially that subject is moving. But then you can use the tracking, just make sure you keep tapping on the subject when it loses it. So you've got that to deal with. The resolution of the cameras, they're good. They're not high, but at the same time, it does help in low light. And in saying with low light, there are other phones on the market that have a much higher ISO recording, such as the P30 Pro, which can go up to 400,000 in photo, and about 51,000 in video. So do have a look at that model. We do have a review on it, so go check that out as well. But if you're after something for entertainment, this is a good option. You've got a 4K display. But if you're after something that's mainly for photo or video, then there are other models worth having a look at, such as the Pixel 3 and also the P30 Pro. But if you guys have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe. And as always, my name's Luke, this is PhotoBite, and we'll see you next time.